Hello, it's Dania and welcome to my channel all about real estate and business. Today I'm going to be giving you 6 tips on why you should auction your house for when you're selling it. I am a real estate salesperson in Queensland, Australia, primarily focusing on Gold Coast properties, so a lot of units and houses often as well. So without further ado, if that's something that you're interested in, if your property is about to go on the market, if you're struggling to choose an agent, if you don't know which method of sale to choose, continue watching and I'm sure I can convince you by the end of this to choose auction. So the number one reason you should auction your house is that your sale is unconditional. It doesn't matter if you don't have pest approval. It doesn't matter if the buyer doesn't have finance approval. The house isn't subject to a cooling off period. The second your house is sold underneath the hammer, that's done, it's sold, you are guaranteed your money. On the other hand, if you're doing a private treaty sale and the agent is negotiating with buyers, even if a contract goes through, the contract can be subject to multiple conditions such as subject to finance approval, subject to their own house selling, subject to getting a permanent residence, etc. There's a lot of clauses that can be added. And with private treaty sales, there's lawyers involved, there's solicitors that can dig up deep information like neighbor disputes, etc. that will perhaps turn off the buyer from purchasing your property. So if you do tend to go with auction, doesn't matter what conditions are with the house, they've agreed to sign and purchase the house without knowing those conditions. And therefore, once it is sold, you're getting your money, it's done, it's finalized. The second thing about auctions is that just by the nature of how they run, all the buyers come on one day, they're standing in front of each other, there's this atmosphere of competition. It flips the page that it's not the buyer bargaining and competing against the agent to lower the price for what they can purchase, ultimately competing against you as the seller. It's the buyers are competing against each other to raise the price. So already you're putting your house or your property in an environment where it's more likely to have the price increased than decreased. So your buyers are competing against each other instead of competing directly against you. The third thing about auction is that you have a very strict deadline you need to follow. There's a very strict agenda and dates that need to be met for marketing, for photos, for everything, and auction date is set and that's not going to be changed. That's usually around a month between when it first goes up and the auction date comes. So your agent has a month to gather so much interest and their huge focus is going to be on your property to sell the house, to generate as much interest as they can, get all the buyers through, do a huge ton of open house inspections. So by the time that the auction date comes, you do have all of those potential buyers. Perhaps you have more buyers come in that haven't even been to an open house inspection or a private inspection before, but they're there on auction date because your agent would have advertised so heavily on your property that is being auctioned. And not only does this attract more people, it creates this crucial and critical sense of urgency in order to sell a property. Because with private treaty sales, where you're just negotiating one-on-one with your buyers, they'll know you have time, they'll wait till it goes stale in the market, they'll wait until the seller reduces their price. So with auction, they know that there's a deadline and it increases more buyer activity in a shorter period of time, which ultimately increases the chance that your house is going to be sold and increases the chance that it will be sold at a higher price in comparison to private treaty. The next thing is that you can market your house without disclosing a price to the public. If you know your house is worth $1 million or you want $950,000 in cash, you don't have to disclose that to the public, and therefore it completely eliminates the risk of underselling your house because people don't have a price point. If they know that it's $1 million, they can't offer you $900,000 to bargain on it or bring your price down, bring their offer really low in order to decrease the price because they don't know the ballpark that it's at. On auction day, it just goes higher and higher and higher, and people come in with a preconceived idea or notion of what they're going to bet until, and once it passes that, then it'll go on to the next highest bidder. So another really good thing is that you can't overprice your property because you haven't given it in the first place. For example, if your house was worth $1 million, you can't list it at 1.2 and possibly lose all of those clients that were going to purchase it for 1 million just because they didn't enter that into the brackets that they're searching for. Completely avoids the fact that you're going to lose potential buyers when you set a price on it that's too high, and it also avoids underselling it because you haven't set a price on it anyways and the buyers can't negotiate it down. The fifth thing is a follow-up on the last point, which is there's a reserve price. Don't think that if your property is worth $1 million and on the auction date that the highest anyone bids is $800,000, that, oh my god, my property's gone for 800. No, you can set your reserve price at say 950 and that'll be done. If it doesn't meet 950, you are under no obligation to sell at auction day. If it meets that reserve price and perhaps even goes higher, then that's what you want. Your house will sell unconditional. So there's no risk of underselling your house for less than what you want because you are protected by your reserve price. And the last and final thing is that say on auction day, the highest bid was 800,000. What you can do is you say, no, I'm not selling it. The auction is completed. The house doesn't sell. What the agent can do is they can move on to doing a private treaty sale. So they negotiate one-on-one with the buyers that were there, the people that were bidding, get them to increase their bid up. And that way you already have this huge database that you've already contacted because of the auction date and the auction urgency. But now you've selected these serious buyers that were bidding on the property and you can negotiate with them one-on-one. Your agent will be talking to all of these buyers that bid or came to the inspections or showed interest in that month period to see if they want to buy your property, to see what they want to offer in a private contract. And additional to that, it'll be published all over on the internet with your new price, either a price that you're going to list for $1 million, or you can say contact agent for more information. You don't even have to disclose the price publicly until a potential serious buyer contacts your agent, and then they can tell them what you're asking for. So there's a lot of steps in it that secure your needs and what you want to get out of your property, with the reserve price to the increasing buyer activity to, if it doesn't sell at auction, you literally just go to a private treaty. So why wouldn't you take the opportunity to hit the market off with a bang and in 1 month have the opportunity to generate so much buyer interest and sell that property after 1 month? If it doesn't, oh well, you still have another chance. So hopefully that helped and helped you choose auction as a method of sale if you're considering selling your property. If it did help, please give this video a like. It helps with the algorithm so much. If you want to see more videos about real estate tips, business, or any money saving hacks or tips, please subscribe and turn those bell notifications on so you are notified every single time I post. And I shall see you guys in my next video. I hope you have a lovely day.